It's been a week since the disappointing defeat for the BYU football team as they lost at Virginia. But we're here at LaVell Edwards Stadium. I'm Jared Lloyd, sports editor for the Daily Herald, here with Jason Franchuk, ready for the home opener here at LES. They're getting ready. The band was out here practicing. The stadium, it has the lights on. They're getting ready for the year. But Jason,
is that what they do? Is that what they're teaching?
Is that what they're practicing?
Yeah, so.
Getting ready for Texas. So big game Saturday afternoon, evening as BYU hosts number 15 Texas. But first of all, BYU's got to get over that disappointing defeat to Virginia. How do they do that?
It's amazing. It feels like forever since we've done one of these, and been in the parking lot, talked about a game, and it's got to feel to BYU like forever since they played a game. It's only been 6 days, 7 tomorrow, but I tell you, this team, I don't know where they stand with this offensive line, Jared. I mean, such huge shifts. You talk about, I understand coaches aren't always telling media or anybody exactly what they think they want to hear and everything, but they say they'll play 11 offensive linemen at Virginia. They don't. And now all of a sudden, big shifts. I mean, 3 guys switching spots, whole new rotation. Where is this team mentally right now? And I thought Jamal Williams starting out Monday sounded pretty upbeat. They seemed in pretty good spirits, but there's some frustration too. Defensive guys are frustrated because they haven't been able to get wins, even though they've played well. Offensive guys maybe a little uncertain of themselves, and this is a big test. I don't know right now. I agree with Bronco. I don't know how you rank teams right now. Where is Texas number 15 again after playing New Mexico State? But I know that they're better equipped confidence-wise than BYU is right now, and this is a big challenge.
Well, and that's no surprise. I mean, that was a game they should have won against Virginia, and everybody knows it.
I hope that the score doesn't indicate how good of a team that BYU is, and that hopefully UT doesn't look at the score and think that they have an easy game this weekend. I mean, BYU's defense is really stout. Front seven's really good. That Van Noy kid is outstanding. Welcome. Sorry. And that running quarterback Hill, he's dangerous. Our defense has a tough time with running quarterbacks where we have in the past, and so we have to be ready to play. There's no doubt.
Talk about Texas, and I mean, what does BYU have to do? I mean, that offense put up more yards than they ever have in Texas history, which is saying something. Last week against New Mexico State, and again, BYU's seen New Mexico State. They kind of know what's there, but still, this Texas team isn't necessarily quite as good as they looked against New Mexico State.
And it's funny, Jared, I mean, this was your first year on the beat a couple years ago when we went to Austin, and now these names are familiar names. David Ash, the quarterback, Malcolm Brown, the running back. They've got a Shipley. They've got all these guys, but they are a team that is still finding itself. They lost their offensive coordinator. They brought the coordinator from Boise State a couple years ago. He's now at Arkansas State, so they are still trying to figure out this is not the highest level of Texas Mac Brown programs, and they've got to be a little uncertain, maybe a little less cocky about it, because they went the first 5 drives without putting up any points at New Mexico State. They go 5 quick drives and have some turnovers in LaVell Edwards Stadium. They're going to find a whole different atmosphere than what they found in Austin. That being said, this is a very fast team on both ends of the ball. I expect them to try and get after Taysom Hill. Hill is going to have to counter by throwing a lot of quick passes, trying to get the ball out to Jamal Williams. And it's a game where I think BYU especially, we saw they started slow with that go fast, go hard last week. They must get down and at least, if nothing else, change field position early. Get a punt in, something like that forces Texas to have to work against the crowd a little bit more. BYU, if you want to use a Texas A&M term, BYU needs that 12th man tomorrow.
I think that'll be a big difference maker for the Cougars, just being able to have that extra energy, that extra boost that you get from playing at home. I ran into some Texas boosters that came out a little bit early for this game, and they're a little bit apprehensive because they looked at what their team did that first half against New Mexico State. They went into halftime only up 14-7 at home to New Mexico State, and they're like, that's disconcerting to see a Texas team doing that. And again, they pulled it out and ran away from it in the second half, but they said they wore down New Mexico State. That's probably not going to be quite the same level of what they're going to be able to get here at LaVell Edwards Stadium. So they were concerned about that. Just as far as, you've got altitude, you've got that speed off it, that up tempo that BYU's running. So there's some question marks as far as that goes.
And we wonder, Jared, is this the classic works in Mac Brown's favor as far as, hey, he can motivate his guys. He knows BYU's not going to play that poorly. I think BYU's going to play better on some level. I don't know how much better on third down or how much better on not having to punt, but I think we talked about all these weird confluence of problems that happened in Charlottesville. That's not going to happen. I think the weather's going to be pretty good. I think BYU's going to be excited. I don't think necessarily BYU goes out and dominates Texas, but I think they hang with them. And BYU's going to be in the position, when I talked about hanging with them early, they need a confidence boost. Even if they would have won that game, which I think we agree they should have, maybe, one weird play, maybe they punt, get the win. But if they come in and just get some confidence early, they can hang with these guys. They've got the pressure tomorrow. As much as people want to put pressure on BYU, Texas has to live up to what Texas is, and they have to go on the road on national TV and try and do that in what should be a pretty good environment.
Jason, what I focused on in my preview that'll be on cougarblue.com as well is something that, I thought we'd learn a lot more about both of these teams in the first week. And I really feel like there's a lot of question marks on both sides of the ball for both teams coming into this second week. But I'm really excited about the first home opener, and they've got some fun things that they're planning on doing to try and enhance that 12th man aspect of BYU for BYU.
I will tell you, Jared, real quick, that in 10 years, 11 years of covering this team now, it is amazing the schools that come in here and play. This is also, Jared, to look ahead a little bit. Bye week, Utah. How is BYU going to be? What kind of mood are they going to be in over the next 14 days after this game? This is a monumental game for Robert and I, for the coaching staff, for Bronco, and for the next couple weeks and going on in this season.
Yeah, I think it's huge because you start out 0-2 with Utah coming up in the bye week. It could be a real long year with this schedule that they're facing if they don't come out and play well.
So our defense is pretty good, but BYU's got a great quarterback, good running back, dangerous receivers, and so controlling the ball, not turning the ball over is going to be probably the biggest key for us.